There are creatures science refuses to recognize.
Hello? Oh my god.
But new technology makes us question what is real. If our eyes see it, if our cameras capture it, does it exist? Enter a realm where fact meets fiction, science meets legend, and nightmares come to life. Do you?
Hi, my name's Aiden, and ever since I was a kid, I've always had a deep interest in the unknown. What anomalies might be lurking in the darkness, in the untouched woods waiting to be discovered? See, ever since I was a young boy, I would always spend my time watching this really creepy show called Lost Tapes. Oh, wait, not like this. I used to watch with my mom around mid-afternoon.
That show used to utterly encapsulate me. Although, looking back now, it's not at all as scary as I remembered it. It also has some really meh acting.
There's definitely something going on in here. Shots!
But this show still instilled a major interest in me, which has led me to this project today. I wanted to make a documentary about cryptids. Now, if you don't know what cryptids are, they're creatures that people claim to be real, but no real scientific evidence proving they exist. If you've ever heard of Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, yeah, those are some examples. There are some incredibly fantastical and damn near impossible creatures that people really claim and believe exist. I want to know why. And even more so, I want to learn more about some of these cryptids. Now, there's more that exist than I could ever possibly hope to talk about, so I've decided to narrow down my research on simple creatures from my home state. This is Cryptid Country, Hidden Monsters of Pennsylvania. Starting off, the first order of business for me was to research as much as I could about cryptids.
Now, what I wanted to do was get a basic understanding of how people in my community feel about cryptids. I mean, do they even know what they are? What would they have to say? I made up a bunch of questions that I'm going to go ask a group of willing people, and I'm going to interview them. So, let's go.
Help me!
Sit down.
Sit down. Sit down. Right here. Oh my god. Oh god. He's gonna Alan?
No.
No?
No.
Alright, what are you doing here? Oh,
It's an interview.
interview? You captured me in a van with a bag from my living room.
Well, you're here now.
Who even are you? What government organization are you part of?
None.
Good?
Good?
Yeah. I want my phone call.
Shut up!
Oh, okay, alright.
Because it is.
I forgot about how bright it was. Oh, okay.
How about you shut up and we do the interview? Alright?
Good interview. Do I get cookies afterwards?
No. Have you ever heard of cryptids?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, I've heard of cryptids, yeah.
Yes. Yes, I'm familiar with the concept.
The concept?
The concept.
What do you know about cryptids?
That they're supernatural creatures and typically found in like Appalachia a lot, or just like in the mountain region in general. That's all.
That's it?
Yeah.
I've only heard about two.
Two.
It's the Mothman and Bigfoot.
I've heard of Bigfoot. I've heard of the okay, I may have seen a vampire once or twice.
Where have you seen a vampire?
Well, I've killed a man.
Like, there's Loch Ness Monster. Everybody knows Bigfoot, obviously. There's,
The little guys in the woods, right? Little gnomes.
What? That's what you heard about them, that they're gnomes?
I mean, like, you know, I saw a gnome one time. Said I was crazy for seeing a gnome, and then I don't know, man. I swear, he was speaking in tongues or something. He was like,
Yetis. There's the Mothman. There's a bunch of other stuff.
I know of a man who's rather slender.
Is that the cryptid that you're talking about? What? Is it just a skinny dude?
He has no face. His skin is as pale as snow. He looks like a Minecraft Enderman.
Tell me, you killed a man?
Well, I think he was a vampire.
You think?
Yes.
What tells you he's a vampire?
Well, he had big teeth.
Big teeth?
Yeah.
Were they sharp?
Well, just yeah, pretty sharp. Yeah.
Pretty?
Like, trying to throw garlic at it when I was trying to run away, but like,
Didn't work?
yeah, didn't work. Yeah.
So you just...
Yeah, like he was sucking on my friend Rick's blood, and, like in this one house I was like, that I was like staying in. It was my house.
What have you heard about him?
I don't know what the Mothman is. I know what Bigfoot is though. He like lurks in woods and stuff.
Mm.
You know, I live by a small like patch of woods by my apartment building. I've heard some rumors.
Have you?
Some rumors.
Have you ever experienced something supernatural that you couldn't explain or made you feel any type of way?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah?
Like once when I was like 12.
Well,
And I went to Gettysburg with my dad. Me and him were being dumb and roaming around the battlefields at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then, like, I just see, like, me and him, he was taking a picture of something out in the battlefield. And I was standing by his car. And I just look out and I see just somebody standing there. And I remember I just completely froze up. And I just remember seeing something. I don't remember the time between that and then my dad like shaking me out of some sort of trance. And then by the time I looked back over in the field, that whatever that was there was just gone.
One time, is this being recorded?
My dad seen a ghost once.
has he?
Yeah. He was staying at this apartment. In his first few months out of college, and he walked in and there was like this little girl sitting in his bed. I forget what happened next though.
So, do you believe in the supernatural?
Yes.
So you do? But you think people who believe in them are crazy?
Well, no, because it's different.
So, do you think there's a difference between supernatural and cryptids?
Yes.
So you think people who believe in cryptids are crazy?
Yes. But not ghosts.
Not ghosts.
Not ghosts.
Supernatural is real. Cryptids are not. So they're out there.
I believe in ghosts.
Mm.
And I do believe a little bit in cryptids, you know. 'Cause sometimes, like, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, you know, I was thinking about it, like the whole uncanny valley thing. Like, humans are scared of other things that look like humans but aren't quite right. How did that come about, you know? People say, like, the Neanderthals, but the Neanderthals weren't around by the time we, like, really became human. Like, it's not... Something happened, I'm just saying, you know. I think Bill Clinton's a cryptid.
How badly do you want this info?
Dude, I'm gonna give you whatever you just said like 2 seconds ago. I kidnapped you to be here. course I want this.
I think my house is haunted.
Interesting. How's your house haunted?
Sometimes, like, you just hear noises at night. You just hear things fall. Just like doors creaking. Just like things that aren't normal.
It was the winter of 2015.
Not really. I feel like, I mean, kind of, but it's like not really confirmed. But I know stuff from family members mostly. Like, for me, nothing crazy, but like, I have like experienced lights flickering in my house, and like that only happened after like some family members passed away that lived in that house. So I'm like, me and my mom think that it's them. So there's that. But also, like, my mom has told me she has had many paranormal experiences. Like, she's told me that she like almost died after using like a Ouija board. And I used to live in a haunted house because like one of my family members claimed that there was this thing that was like tickling her feet at night, even though like there was nobody doing that
I hope
physically.
not.
So yeah.
I hope not.
It had been snowing for days. I don't remember what happened after that. Can I have another cookie to jog my memory?
I spent some time growing up in Appalachia,
Mm.
in New York. So, you know, you just hear like the basic stories, like, and then the obvious rules of Appalachia. If you hear something calling your name, no, you didn't. If you hear something screaming, no, you didn't. You don't look out your windows when it gets dark. If you see something as well, no, you didn't. If you're hiking on Appalachia and you see a deer carcass, no, you didn't. Walk past it. That's something trying to get you and grab you. If something is chasing after you already, just let it get, you're done. Just let it have you. There's an old saying in Appalachia. If you ever go out into the woods, especially, bring 2 bullets, okay? The first one is something is coming after you, and you shoot that first bullet at whatever's coming after you, and it doesn't hurt that thing, and it's still coming after you, you know what to do with the second one.
Well, do you personally believe in the supernatural or cryptids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, more supernatural than cryptids. I don't really know a lot about cryptids.
I think there's enough. People say the same stuff in many different places in many periods of times.
Mm-hmm.
If there's enough patterns, I think one of them must be true.
You know, there was this one lady, I thought she was a cryptid, big hairy lady. Thought she would walk around like an ogre going, ooh, ooh, ooh. Actually, it might have just been a gorilla at the zoo. Yeah, it's probably a gorilla. But, you know, I really did think it was a cryptid, you know. It was just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. You know, gorillas don't move like that. He was eating a banana and stuff. She was eating a banana. I swear she started talking to me too. But actually, that might have just been the weird stuff I got from that guy at the entrance of the zoo. You know, he was like, take this, son. And I'm like, oh, what's this? And then he just told me take it. And then the big hairy lady started talking to me. You know?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off there. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, well, that sucked. That sucked.
10 double stuffed Oreos and 1/2 gallon of whole milk if you are to learn this.
Yes, what? Why does every answer require cookies, bro? What's wrong with you? You're not even gonna eat all that. Are you kidding me?
You kidnapped me. I can make the terms.
That's not how it works. First of all,
I don't believe. I know.
No, I think everybody who believes the cryptids are crazy. Out of their minds.
I'm real.
I do. 100% I do.
Is it because of the experiences you've had?
I believe that anything that, you know, you hear stories of, anything can be real. Whether it's the supernatural or like aliens, ghosts,
Mhm.
spirits, demons, all of that. it's out there, regardless of whether or not anybody else believes it. Especially after you have experiences with it, they're out there. We don't know everything that's out in the universe. We know of ourselves, and certain things we refuse to believe in is typically out of fear or some sort of anxiety or anything like that. Or like we refuse to believe in anything that we don't understand. And supernatural, the afterlife, death, all of that is something that people refuse to believe in.
Or cryptids?
Yes, I do.
Yes. All right. Is that just pure belief?
No,
No.
it's experience.
Experience that you forget.
I might have been lying about the forgetting part. I just wanted more cookies.
I
You.
mean, I feel like they are hard to make up, but also like people are crazy.
I think I know your answer to this, but which cryptid do you believe in the most?
Probably scrungles.
I've seen a bunch of fake pictures, like the Loch Ness Monster. I feel like that, or like the Kraken. I feel like those have like the most probability of being real, just because we really don't know a lot about the ocean. Like we know like 5% or whatever that is. So like if you've seen it, then like I don't know. But there was that one picture of the Loch Ness Monster where it was like some hand just there, and everybody was like, oh my god, it's the Loch Ness Monster. But it wasn't. It was just a hand. So like, I feel like a lot of it can be made up very easily. But I do believe in spirits. So, yeah.
And you know, I saw a gnome riding a squonk once. It was going, and the squonk was going.
I'm gonna need you to stop making stuff up.
I'm not making stuff up, man. Come on, you gotta believe me, alright? I'm not crazy. Sure, all the doctors said I was crazy, but I saw a gnome riding a squonk, and he was going.
What do you have to say to people who say that there's nothing there? There's absolutely no cryptids, nothing supernatural at all.
It's what they believe in. If you don't want to believe, I'm not here to force you to believe in something that you don't believe in. I know what I believe in. You know, I know the experiences that I've had, and I know the experiences of others that have told me stories and all these. Rules are not made up just because. Rules and laws and regulations and all of that, they're made up because of things that have happened in the past. Like the rules with Appalachia, you know? Because, like, the Appalachian especially, there's such old mountains. There's such a deep, dark history that we can't begin to explain. So all of those rules come from the experiences of others. All the disappearances, all the murders, everything. Like especially with disappearances, nobody just disappears. Like without a trace, nobody disappears. You know? There's always that possibility that something can be out to get you, or that something can drag you into another world, in my opinion. Something's out there. You just don't know what, you know, whether it's religion or something that you find haunted, like Mothman. You're telling me that a group of teenagers in the 60s in the middle of West Virginia lied about seeing a giant, like 10-foot tall winged beast? Mind you, these kids were all high out of their mind telling the same exact story. That's not just that is not just like a made up thing. Absolutely not.
I feel like, I mean, I think it's fair, honestly, because there's a lot of people that are just skeptical of anything that's outside of their views, whether it's like for religious reasons or anything else.
You're crazy, and you should stop believing in cryptids.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Straight up.
Yeah. Get some help.
Get some.
If you don't believe in it, you should know seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing.
If you don't believe in cryptids, go out to 205 East Park. You know, good squonk area up there, the township. Yeah, I went there one time, and I was in the woods with my friends, and I heard these little guys rustling around. This is a real story, by the way. Like, this isn't for the like. I actually like heard something rustling, and when I went to go look at it, there was like nothing there, and it started getting louder, and so I just ran away. And my friend went back there, and then he ran away too. And then the squonks came out.
Alright, well, if not cryptids, what's the creepiest or scariest thing you've ever experienced? Is it the ghost story that you told me?
Yeah. Specifically, there was one time I was like home alone, and I heard the door open, like the front door open and shut. And I went downstairs, and it was locked. I checked around the whole house, nothing was moved.
Interesting. Do you think it was a ghost?
I think it was a ghost. In fact, I have no doubts that it was a ghost.
Do you think the government is hiding anything from us?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, you like listen to conspiracy theories long enough, and you think to yourself, man, there's a lot of stuff that the government just hasn't told us.
They are. Don't ask for cookies. Don't ask for cookies. Yeah.
It's just obvious at this point. I mean, it's 2025 currently, and if you look at me, you can tell that I think things are going on in the government that they're not telling us. And like, besides supernatural things, it's like obvious, but supernatural things like Area 51 was mentioned. There's a lot of people guarding that, and it's just like, for what? And they announced that aliens were real at one point,
I thought so.
and then like they want to try to be weird about it, and like they like, how can you only say, oh guys, aliens are real, and that was it? Like no evidence, no explaining, just that, and then people are gonna be like, oh cool, yeah, okay, cool.
The government's totally hiding stuff. Is this a joke question? It's the government. The United States government. Have you met them?
Well, no, I don't know if I've met anyone from the government.
Well, you probably have. There are like 300,000 government workers here in the United States.
That's fair, I guess.
Your teacher's a government worker. Legally, that is actually true.
Really hiding
Yes.
things from us.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you ever heard about the like the saucer thing, whatever, in Nevada in the 40s? So I think it was in Nevada in the 40s. So there were like accounts or like stories of these things, like these floating saucers up in the sky. 1940s, mind you, right? And there were just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds calls going into different police stations across like whatever city it was in. Like, hey, there's people panicking. There's something in the sky, and 3 triangle formations. You're telling me that hundreds of thousands of people coordinated that, and then years later the government finally comes out and is like, oh no, that was just a test. That was just a military test. That was a military test? That was just a military... Government can definitely hide something. 100%. Why else is Area 51 so protected?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of cryptids, I have no idea, but yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say at all?
There's something supernatural out in the universe. The government is lying to us. There are so many different conspiracy theories that I believe are 100% true and that are just completely and totally covered up, whether or not it's something supernatural or something that genuinely happened. And again, it's just covered up by big corporations, millionaires, the government, all of that.
You asked everything, right?
I feel like it's just all about perspective about what a person wants to believe, because it's like, it's literally just subjective. Somebody could be like old and senile and look at a tree and be like, oh my god, it's Slenderman, you know what I mean? So like, and then like rumors obviously get spread really easily, and especially because of the internet, you know, Reddit exists. That's a place for crazy things.
You can go.
Well, no, actually, I want to ask you a question.
Me?
Yeah.
I guess. Go ahead.
When are you gonna get him his Oreos?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, let's go. Two weeks. Alright. Well, yeah, you're a whack job. Get out of here. Get out. Oh my god. Alright, you're gonna go. Get out of here.
Thank you.
You're not getting any compensation or anything. Don't ask me.
What?
Yeah, just get out.
This is why I don't do random interviews now. It's crazy.
Don't trust Bill Clinton.
Get out! Shoo!
Do I get lunch?
No!
I'll see myself out.
Well, the interviews were pretty useless. Well, I mean, I actually learned a lot more than I was expecting to. We got some incredibly interesting point of views, and maybe people know a little bit more than I thought they would. But we also heard some insane stuff. So I think I should just go see if I can find anything for myself. Yeah. Okay. What's up, guys? We're out here now. We're in the woods, and this is going to be the part where I search for myself for these cryptids. I guess we're just going to see if I can find anything, maybe see anything suspicious. I don't really know what's going to be out here, if anything, but we can hope. So, this is where I am. I've entered the woods. I can't tell you guys where, because, privacy reasons, but let's go cryptid hunting. Oh my god. All right, well, getting situated out here has been very, very difficult, clearly, because, the camera is, this sucks. Okay, I just moved it a little bit away. Dude, how did I move it a little bit away and it's even worse than it was before? What? Here we go. Bang. There we go. That's better. Well, I've been out here for a minute now looking for cryptids, and I can confidently say that I haven't seen, heard, or found anything too suspicious or out of the norm for being in a forest. What I originally planned to do was actually come out here and spend the night, spend a night camping out here. Unfortunately, I don't really have the equipment for that, nor, did I really think it was the best idea for me to, come and spend the night in the forest alone without too much experience. I've never even been camping, unless you count, like, Cub Scouts, but that I don't count. Well, yeah, I've just seen, lots of bugs. Not too much like wildlife. I think I've seen a squirrel or two. That's it. I definitely haven't seen any, Bigfoot, anything else. Nothing at all seems really out of the ordinary. So, I didn't want to have to resort to this, but I guess I'm gonna have to do the rest of my research online. Okay, well, I've barely slept all week, but
I mean, clearly now I have enough information to tell you guys about these cryptids that you so eagerly awaited. Now, again, I'm only covering a few from Pennsylvania, as I can't cover all of the 1,000 that exist. Today, I'm going to be telling you guys about Bigfoot, the Sheep Man, the Thunderbird, and the Squawk. Alright, starting off, let's cover Bigfoot. Now, I'm sure this is, it's one of the most popular cryptids that exist, so I'm sure you've heard of it in one aspect or another, but you may not have known how connected it is to Pennsylvania. Bigfoot is actually the term used to describe many different species of ape man all over the earth. Some of these include the Yeti, the Yowie, skunk ape, and the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch being the one located in North America. Now, I'm sure you've seen or heard of this thing's physical appearance. It's a large bipedal humanoid ape who stands at around 8 to 10 feet tall. Pennsylvania is actually one of the top 10 states with the most Bigfoot sightings, and it is known as a hotspot in order to find them. If you didn't know, Pennsylvania woods were actually used in an episode of Bigfoot Hunter, which is a show that I also used to watch when I was a kid. It's a little iffy with the actors in it, I guess you could say. I don't know how professional they actually were, but it was a fun show as a kid, I'll say. Now, the show kind of just consisted of this group of guys who would go state to state hunting for Bigfoot. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's a pretty fun watch if you want to go check it out. Now, a lot of sightings of Bigfoot are, pretty scary. It's a huge ape, dude. That sounds scary to me. That's terrifying. If I saw that in my backyard or just walking in the woods, I would lose my mind. But a lot of the sightings can actually just be traced back to bear sightings. But a lot of people's interpretation of Bigfoot nowadays is kind of like a forest deity. Kind of like he's this peaceful entity that kind of watches over the forests, or this chill ape thing. I don't know. There have been some funny depictions of him. Again, it's the most popular cryptid, so it's the most featured in media, stuff like that. People see it all over. Alright, well, we're gonna move on now, because, you guys have heard of Bigfoot a ton. Hopefully, you probably didn't know how connected it was to Pennsylvania a little bit. Hopefully, you know that now. That's one of the top 10 states. That's pretty crazy, right?
Hey guys, we're out hiking this weekend, and it's Tyler and Lola.
And we are just gonna be walking around and exploring, kind of.
Just exploring.
Nature is just so nice.
Nature is super nice.
We really found this crazy cool sewer, and we're probably gonna go inside of it.
Since it's literally the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
So I'm just looking at the trees up there, this is insane.
It looks like they have a nest.
Going on a hike, we should actually do it more. Oh, ow.
And you cannot even see the end of it. So
we no idea. We should probably end the walk on our way back. A nest? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I see a nest.
No, right there.
No, there's. I don't think there's any.
Hey guys.
We've been walking for a while, so we decided to take a break. The trail is so long, and we've just been hiking for too long. This is such a nice little day to go out and, explore. It's fantastic for, humanity in general.
The weather's starting to get bad too, so.
Yeah, just a little bit, it's not terrible, but it's getting to a point where it's it's, eh. Oh my god.
What is that?
Whoa.
The scratches?
It could have been a fox or something, right?
A fox cannot reach that high.
What are you talking about?
It's 7 feet off the ground.
I think it should be fine, right? It's not very
No, that's just crazy.
Nah, we should be alright. It's literally just some scratches.
I'm not going.
What do you mean?
I'm not going any farther in there.
Come on, it's gonna be fine. Just
No.
like we just gotta keep going. Like it's literally just a hiking trail. What else would have made those scratches? Come on, just a little bit longer. Come on.
Fine.
See, I told you there's nothing to worry about. Keep walking.
You should just be a little bit more cautious.
What?
OMG.
Yo, what is that?
This literally looks like a huge butt.
Nah, that thing's gotta be as like big as like any. It's bigger than me. Like it.
No, I told you we should have went back.
Nah, there's really nothing. I mean, come on, it's a big foot. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. Things like that don't just like happen, you know. They'll just like
No.
things like that don't just show up randomly. Stop.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you that we've lost a lot of like major footage. For the next 3 descriptions of the creatures, unfortunately, the footage that we recorded on our camera didn't end up working for some reason, and I mean, it's super unfortunate, but these are the struggles of projects like these, and you know, I'm going to try to work through it. So I'm going to be instead, you know, giving you the rundown on these last 3 creatures like this. So here we go. Now I'm going to try and do this kind of as quick as I can because, you know, there's not going to be a lot to look at because there's not any footage. But all right, let's just get on with it. Let's move on to the Sheep Man. Now, this monster may be one of the most fearsome ones that we cover today. What we're covering specifically is the Waterford Sheepman, a creature known for terrorizing the small rural town of Waterford. Now, this thing is actually a sort of variant for what's known as the Goat Man, which is pretty much described as like an abominable creature who has the body of a man and the head and many features of a goat. Now, although he's not too popular, the Goat Man has like a decent following of people who believe in it. And the Waterford Sheepman is a lesser known variant who is simply known for being located and stalking around the outskirts of Waterford. While the Goat Man is said to do some seriously despicable things to its victims that I'm not too comfortable talking about here, the Sheepman is just known for attacking livestock and terrorizing people. There's plenty of cases of people supposedly, you know, sighting the Sheepman on the side of the road or by their houses, and there's even one case in which the Sheepman attacks a couple and tears apart their car. They had to fight him off, and when they came back to their family, apparently they didn't want to file a police report in fear of embarrassment. Kids in the area are also sometimes told, "Don't let the Sheepman get you," which is like, that's one way to scar a kid. Like, seriously, if I heard that when I was young, I would have never left my home ever again.
Alright, guys, we're looking for the Sheepman. Must be here. There's some college kids, you know, partying. And they got attacked. Must be here. Oh, some beer cans. A sign, maybe? Yeah, definitely. There's some more cans. What's this? Huh, some like feathers? Or, I mean, wool, yeah. Yeah, like the Sheepman. Wait, oh shit. Dude, guess it does make sense for there to be a body here. Or at least what remains of one. Yeah, there's like a skull there. I mean, like, some really decomposed. So like, shit, where can he be? Bro, once I find this guy, so famous. Huh.
Maybe it's this way.
Okay, let's have a talk about a creature that's a little more down to earth, or, I guess the opposite. This is the thunderbird. It's a large bird-like creature, and although it's not native to Pennsylvania, because, it can fly, there's been plenty of sightings here. The thunderbird often appears in Native American legends, sometimes depicting eagles large enough to carry whales back to their nest. And large bird sightings have appeared all over the world, so I think that kind of makes this one of the most believable cryptids. Now, while some report this thing to have the appearance of everyday birds, there's also many sightings claiming that it has the appearance more akin to like a pterodactyl or a dragon. And they're sometimes depicted very similar to that of an Argentavis, which was the largest prehistoric flying bird with a wingspan of over 17 to 21 feet long. Oh, and also this is the last of the footage that we have from, this is the last of the footage that we have, so here you go.
Now, for this thing being like aggressive or fearsome, it's pretty fearsome to see this thing in the sky. I'm sure it is. Seeing a bird of this size and stature today would be terrifying. But for like actual attacks or anything, there's not much. Mainly, it's just people seeing it flying overhead. Sometimes there's feathers that have been like claimed to have been found, or like scratches or marks somewhere. But I think even there has been a couple of cases where people have like said that they've shot down the bird, or like just a big bird in general. Now, do I know if it was actually the bird, if it was actually the thunderbird? I don't think so. Obviously, it was either a bird that was larger than the normal size, but not quite the size of the thunderbird. But it's also like when people see them, it's just gonna fly away, right? Unless you're ready to get it down with a gun, I guess. I don't know. Crazy creature. Let's move on to our next.
All right. Well, after seeing the last few, absolutely fearsome beasts of Pennsylvania, I'm sure you're expecting something utterly terrifying and, really wowing for the last one on our list. I'm sure it'll leave your jaw dropped, but not in the way you were expecting. Let's talk about Pennsylvania's very own squonk. Yep, that's right, the squonk. The squonk is a folklore creature that debuted in William T. Cox's Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwood, written in 1910. The book is a fantasy field guide showcasing sketches and descriptions of North American folklore. Now, this creature's entire shtick is that it's just an ugly and disgusting pig. Yeah, that's really it. It's depicted as being covered in warts, wax, and tufts of hair, and its tusks are yellow and crooked. This thing is in fact so ugly that it spends all of its time weeping due to its own ugliness. That's honestly so incredibly sad. This thing is aware of its own foul appearance, and it's just left to, cry and be depressed all the time. That's so unfortunate. I feel so bad for it. It's so sad with its own appearance that it's known for melting completely into a pool of its own tears. That's just incredible, right? It's possible you've heard of it if you live in Pennsylvania, but outside of it, you probably haven't, because this thing doesn't fare at all with, Bigfoot, Mothman, the Loch Ness Monster, It's said to be found in hemlock forests and is able to be tracked by a trail of its own tears and the constant weeping noises. But upon catching said creature, Mr. J.P. Wentling, a character from the book, opened the same net and found nothing but a puddle of tears. Yikes. And although clearly this thing isn't too, aggressive, its real fearsomeness comes from its contagious sadness. J.P. Wentling's arch nemesis, Hal Johnson, actually tried to catch it as well. And, unfortunate for him, he ended up melting alongside the squonk into a puddle of tears. So, what a horrible way to go.
Okay, I've been walking a while, guys. Haven't found anything yet, but I just want to let you know that I also brought some makeup, just because, a little eyeliner might help a guy. You don't want anybody to think they're ugly, you know what I mean? Anyway. Yeah, I don't know. This is a big place, and... Wait, did we hear that? I think it might be up there. Oh yeah, that's definitely... Okay, hold on. I totally saw it. Hold on. That's totally it. Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on. I got it. Wait. It's moving around so much. Oh my god, I got it. It's literally not ugly. I don't know what that guy was talking about. Okay, I gotta take it to him though. Oh look, it's the squawk. I got it in this bag. Go. Oh, I guess. What happened?
You tell me.
I didn't do anything. It just,
You got me a wet pillowcase. Yeah, thanks. You're fine.
Oh. You didn't even hire me.
Okay, here we are. And, looking back on this whole thing, I clearly have not found any cryptids. Was I really expecting to? No, I don't think maybe I will, but I don't personally think I'm going to be one of the lucky few who ever, actually see a cryptid. I've seen some supernatural things in my life. Now, whether I believe in the supernatural, it's debatable, but I think there might be something. And from this project, I've kind of gotten what I wanted out of it, which was to reconnect with a lot of the things that I used to love as a kid. Mystery in general. I got to do a lot of research on these things, and more importantly, hear what a lot of other people had to say about them. Although I said, we didn't get anything, because we got some crazy stuff from the interviews, I think we did get a couple of important things, and more than that, we got to see a lot of people's perspectives on these things.
This project, with as many difficulties as it's had, has taught me so much. Not only just about cryptids, but also about, filming, editing, working together with other people. It has been quite the ride making this, quite the experience. Very difficult, and as you can see, as you're viewing the product, it's messy. It's got plenty of difficulties. There's bumps, there are things that I wasn't even able to do or perfect, but it's all been an incredible learning experience. And I'm so grateful for this project allowing me to see what other people think about cryptids. And I think more than anything, what I've learned about cryptids is that no matter if they're real or not, or no matter what people believe, I think cryptids were always a way to bring people together. They were originally, campfire stories told at dark. It was used as a means to, help people relate through their fear of the unknown. And it just brought them together in that way. And I think even now today, it can still be a means to do that. No matter what someone believes, no matter if you have opposing views or not, I think cryptids and just discussing them, whether it's how incredibly interesting, how weird, how wild, how scary they are, can help bring people together in a really fun, creative, and almost heartwarming way. I also want to just take a moment to seriously thank everyone who's helped me with this project. It means the world to me. It means so much, and I could not have done it without the amazing people who, helped lift me up and help get the project done. It's insane, I'm truly blessed. Ending on this note, go outside and, take a breath of some fresh air. Take time alone or with friends to really appreciate the world's wackiness and the mysteries it's provided to us.
Oh my god.